Hi guys, it's Jen Meyer here, and we are getting ready to do some heat embossing. Um, I am not a pro at this. I'm just kind of sharing some of my tips and tricks as to what I've been able to do in the past. Let's see, I'm trying to get it so I can see what you guys are saying. All right, so here we are, heat embossing. And let's see, get our paper all squared away. And it's nice and sunny today, so hopefully that will help a bit. Okay, so heat embossing, let me show you an example. And I was trying to find more examples around the house, but everything's kind of mismatched at the moment. So heat embossing is when you use a powder and it makes a raised impression over whatever you've stamped. So there's kind of one example here. I was trying to find I have one that I do a lot of, and I just wasn't not able to put my hand on those samples at the moment. So let's talk about what do you need for that. You do need some equipment. So you are going to need, so if you look on page 52 of the Close to My Heart annual catalog. So this is the one that has all of our main supplies in it, not the one that changes every couple of months. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a heat tool. And no, it's not a hairdryer, people. It is just a heat tool. Mine is a different brand. It looks like this. But it just produces heat. This does get very, very hot. There's like a little safety stand. But it does not blow air. You do not want air blowing your embossing powder away. You just want it to heat to a temperature where it's going to melt. And hopefully you'll be able to see that here when we get into some examples. You're also going to need an anti-static pouch, or what they call an embossing buddy. So trust me, I tried for years to get my embossing to work, and it just wouldn't. So you are going to need one of these. It's just a small pillow that's filled with anti-static powder. And you're going to need a Versamark ink pad. I cannot stress to you enough the importance of using this brand. All right. I have a friend who was embossing things left and right all the time, and I was on a retreat with her, and I finally was like, mine never looks like yours. Every time I go to emboss something, it looks horrible. And so I borrowed her Versamark pad, and I was using a different brand, and I am telling you, this makes all the difference. So please do get a Versamark. It's a watermark stamp pad. So there's no color to it, but this stays wet a little bit longer for you to get the embossing powder on. And whatever one I was using in the past was just not cutting it. So do get a Versamark watermark stamp pad. And then the last thing you're going to need is some embossing powder. And Close to My Heart sells the Ranger brand. So it comes in clear, which you can kind of put over anything that's already colored. Silver, which we've seen on this other card, which was beautiful. White, which looks great on dark colors. And Princess Gold. They also have what they call tinsel embossing powder, which has even more of a sparkle to it when you're done. I might try one here while we're demoing this. They have copper, red, gold, and silver. So again, those are located on page 52 of your annual catalog. And I do think this is worth making an investment with. It'll work with any of your current image stamps, and it's just going to give some of those cards like that extra oomph that they need, especially if you're doing like a watercoloring technique. Black with watercolor looks amazing. So you can find those in this catalog. You can find them online on my website. So those are some of the things you're going to need. So let's pull out a couple of pieces of cardstock. Oh, and the stamp that I just threw on the floor. Let's grab our mat. I'm going to put it this way here. It is messy, all right? I had this leaning up against something. It is messy, so I do want you to be prepared. Let's try. I was thinking this Wish Big would look nice as an example with just black on white. So let's try that. Peel this off. Super new stamp. All right, and let's put it on a block. There's an upper and a lower side to our block. So this flatter side, I don't know if you can see that, that's where your stamp goes. And did you know that we have a little line? It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can give that to you. There's my block is a little bit dirty too. There's an etched line. There, you can kind of see it there. That will help you, especially if you're doing anything with letters, that will help you align your stamp so it's straight. I mean, you can always adjust it while you're stamping. But all right, so now we have our Wish Big. And let's put down, I'm going to put this extra down just to kind of give you a little example. And let's grab a piece of white cardstock. All right, so we are just going to grab our Versamark, our stamp. Let's get our powder out and get it ready. I think I keep all of my things in a little tub. It's labeled. I did have to go looking for my stamp pad today, so I'm going to make sure I put it back into here so I have it all together. And let's see, black, black, black. All right. And this is a new stamp, which I should have maybe conditioned before, but we're just going to go for it because we don't have all day to play. Well, we kind of do, but you know. All right. So that's all nice and smushed up. We're going to stamp it. Let me put it down here on the corner so that we're conserving paper a little bit. So I'm going to give it a nice firm stamp. I should have opened up my powder beforehand. Let me open up my powder. If you have coffee filters, I highly recommend that. I just did not grab those before I came in here. All right. So now that is wet. You probably cannot see that. And we're going to take our embossing powder and push it right over the top, all right? So kind of want to make sure you're getting all... Oh, and you know what we forgot? We forgot the most important step. So you're going to see what this does, all right? So there's our Wish Big, but what did we forget? Because I forget it every time. We forgot to use our embossing buddy, all right? So I am going to pull this to the side before I try to get that powder back into my thing. And we're going to do this again using our embossing buddy, and then we shouldn't get all this extra static around, all right? So all you do, rub it where you're going to stamp that. Just give it a couple little swipes, all right? That's going to help our powder not stick to the extra parts of our paper, because sometimes it makes a big difference. You get those flecks left over, and it can wreck your intentions. So here we go. That's all now destaticked. And I'm going to put my stamp right back down next to it. All right, press firm, lift up, add our powder. Okay, shake it all around, and there we go. Now you see I missed a little bit right up in there. I'm gonna try to see if I can get some. All right. Flick, flick. All right, this is going to be a little bit loud, and I'm going to try to do it up towards the camera. Hopefully it'll stay in focus a little bit. Well, what we're looking for is you're going to see this powder. Oh, I took it off autofocus. You're going to see the powder start to melt and become glossy, all right? And if you had a small piece of paper, you would want to take a clothespin because your fingers can get, this does get hot. All right, so it's going to be a little bit loud. And just kind of hold it. Start on one side of your image. You're going to start to see it melt. And there it goes. It's going to get a little bit glossy. And then you're going to keep moving your heat pen so that you do not scorch your paper. It can scorch, okay? And you'll see with the anti-static, we did not get such a clear image there. So let's go move on to this one. All right, there it starts to melt. The black is a little bit harder to see. With gold and silver, wow, it immediately like gets this shininess. All right. All right. put this off to the side carefully. The tip is warm. All right. All right, what do you think? Look how shiny. And look at how, oh, it's hard to see. This one is more rough and this one is super smooth, okay? So that embossing just looks fantastic. Now, imagine just going in and coloring that B, I, and G with a color. This is going to pop right off of your card. It's amazing. All right, so we are going to very, very carefully try to put our embossing powder back into its bin. I have seen people who take all of their embossing powder out and they put it into small Tupperware containers. If I did this more often, that is definitely something that I would consider doing. It does make it a little bit easier to get your powder back in. But this, I mean, this is going to last you forever, guys. It's a great investment. I think it makes such a big impact. I really wish I did it more. And as you see, it doesn't take that much effort. It really doesn't. All right, flicking off that excess over there. Let's try going on some darker colors. Let's try some silver on this. And let's maybe try a different image. Let's see. I did bring in, these are kind of the wrong. Let's try our fairy. You know, we did this fairy the other day. She was adorable. And you clean your stamps the same way. If you don't want to put, just put it through, you can use your stamp chamois, or you can use a scrubber, or you can use a baby wipe. But let's try this fairy. She's also in our current catalog. I think it's called Magical. Let's see, what's she called? You can get it with or without the thinlits. It is called Fairy Tale Magic. So this in silver, actually, I think would be super pretty. And then you actually might not even need to color her. You could just kind of use it as a outline, a silhouette. All right, so we're going to put her on, and she has been used before. We used her yesterday on some things. Okay, so we're going to use our, there we go. Don't forget that step. You know, you should mark it on your box. I'm going to get out my silver. Let's see. We have iridescent ice. We have white, gold. Oh, right here. All right. Fine details. Silver. Get this open and ready to go. Look how fine that is. All right. So we've got our little princess fairy all inked up. We've already done our anti-static. We're going to stamp her nice and firm. Pull her off. Put on our embossing powder, nice and generous, because again, you're just going to pour this all right back into your bin. All right. Tap that off. Especially with silver, this would be, you know, once you definitely just want it to pick that stamped image up. So let's see what this does. I'll try to hold it up so you guys can see. Oh, immediately, because it's such a fine line, she starts popping out. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Let me see if I can get this to focus. I did take the autofocus off because every time I put my hands up there, maybe you guys can see better down here. It is gorgeous. And you do see a slight halo from that very fine glitter around there, but I bet you if you burnished it off, you wouldn't even see it. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, that is stunning. Imagine that with a saying, Merry Christmas, in gold or silver. So, wow, that turned out, I will tell you guys, I did not prepare a lot for this because I've been so busy with the kids being home and so many different topics. I just knew that if you once you get those instructions on how to do the embossing, you can play around with it. it's definitely a showstopper on cards. I think on scrapbook pages, doing little elements. Can you imagine some of those arrows or journaling cards? That would be amazing. So I am going to let you guys play, but I mean, amazing. If you need any help, feel free to, private message me or email me. Let's see. My email is here. This is my work email, Jennifer at Master of the Magic. I don't know if you can see that. That's my travel agent site. That is what I will probably see more quickly. If you just want to go online and shop, you can shop at jenmeyer.closetomyheart.com. And the things that you're looking for are in the main idea book. And what did I say? Page 52 will have all the things that you need to add some embossing. And if you already have the stamps or pick out, I mean, as you can see, it worked really well with a very fine detailed stamp, and it worked really well with a nice big bold stamp. So, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with how this turned out. If I had markers, let's see, do I have something handy? I'm going to hold on one quick second. Well, I seem to have misplaced, again, put away my, I had my shimmer brushes here yesterday, but I must have taken them down to the basement. All right, so let's see. If we just did with our watercolor pencils, let's see what this looks like. This gloss, oh, I know you guys can't see it. It's amazing. So let's try. Let's do a bright green. All right, a little bit of blending going on right here. Oops, I just went outside the line. Stop being so quick. Take off that extra color. With a shimmer pen, this would be beautiful. And let's see. Putting that on the front of a birthday card would be, oops, let me get the color off of there, would be amazing. Amazing. This is super nice and shiny, very colorful. So, all right, there you go. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you guys later.